Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Well, welcome, and welcome, Jenny. I'm Wisdom Seeker Joan, and this is Starfish Jennie. And we are here for our next episode of Past Life Readings and Recollections. And so, how are you doing today, Jenny?
Oh,
What's up?
great. Beautiful day.
Wonderful.
Sun is
That's good.
shining.
Yeah, it's a little cool here, not horribly cold, but it was enough to make me want to put on a sweater. So, yeah, and we wanted to thank Jess Ree for being the first person here. And here's Junosphere and Aquila B24. So it's going to be a small group today so far, but that's just great. Um, Maybe we can talk a little bit about things coming up for us when until maybe a couple other people come. But do put your questions or your requests in the chat, so I can be sure to um, get to you. So what have you been up to, Jenny?
So I took the Akashic Records class about, I don't know, a month ago or 6 weeks ago. And that's all I do is practice. And that's so much fun. So much fun.
And you're good at it too. I was lucky enough to be one of your people who you were practicing on, and it was really enlightening.
And the good thing about getting a true Akashic reading, everybody has two Akashic masters, and they're always there for you. And when you start talking to them, they get really excited. And so they know everything. They have all the knowledge. So there's no going out searching for it. The answers come really quickly, and they can also heal. They say they can heal with surgical precision, and you can, like, if you were a Reiki person, you could add the Akashic reading masters working with you with your Reiki, and it would just be off the chart.
Cool. Well, there's Wiki and Sun Psychic Jean. Thanks for coming. She said she's looking forward to this show, and we'll post on her community page. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, we are. Yeah, the whole Akashic record reading thing is really good, but we should be clear. That's not quite what we're doing here today. We are tapping in and reading the energy that we get, tapping into the quantum field and reading energy from your past lives.
Yeah. So if we
Yeah.
were going to read your Akashic records, it would take longer, and it would have to be person to person. But we'll be happy to do that for you, not on the show.
And here's Juno. She said she took the same class and it was life-changing. So that's pretty cool. I took it too, and I need more practice. I only was able to practice with one person, and I need to get back to that. So I'm looking forward to the Sunday night practice. Yeah. So as we get ready here, we decided we were going to say a prayer of protection before we get into this. We are surrounded by the pure white light of divine source. We ask Archangel Michael to protect and guide us as we call forth all of our angels, guides, beings of light, and Akashic Records masters to assist us now to receive information of the highest truth, highest frequency of light and love, allowing us to receive exactly what we need for our greatest good and the greatest good of humanity. Thank you.
So so if you were to get an Akashic record reading, like a private one, it can help you. Like, it just doesn't tell you about past lives. It really helps you with situations or challenges you have right now, and then also it can help heal, and it puts you on the highest timeline for yourself. So I've jumped timelines a couple of times, and then I don't know what day it is.
Wow. Okay, so there, I've got Juno, and well, tell us about jumping timelines. What happened?
Oh, so this was after the first class, and the first class was just very high vibrational. And so the next day, that was a Saturday. The next day was a Sunday, but I woke up and I thought it was Monday. I mean, I was convinced it was Monday. So I got up, I had my alarm set. I got dressed. I was going to the doctor and I was getting ready to walk out the door, but I was listening to YouTube and I was listening to Allie's show and all these people were on there. And I'm like, why are they all on there on a Monday morning? And it took me a long time to figure out this was not Monday, this was Sunday. And then the whole week I was off a day. The whole week I couldn't figure out what day it was. It's really, it can be embarrassing.
Time
But
is just a concept.
I would much rather jump to a higher timeline if it's possible, because we know we all have multiple timelines. So yeah,
that's great. Okay, if you're ready, let's start into this.
sure.
And we'll start with Jessree. May I have a past life reading, please? And thank you. And again, I'm going to do my best, but I don't make any guarantees. I'm still a little bit new at the past life stuff. So we'll see what we can get.
Well, Jessree, do you have a specific question?
I think she just wanted to hear about a past life and how that is affecting the current one, unless you have something more specific. But if I'm going to just jump in, because I was on a little early and Jess was on early too. So I thought, well, I'll just take some time and tune into Jessree. And it was very odd, which is not unusual for me, because the first thing I saw was an image of something being extruded, like material that went through. It was like a strainer and it all came out in little pieces, sort of like, remember that, like the Play-Doh Fun Factory where you'd push down, it would come out and would come out in it, so it looks like spaghetti or something like that. And I thought, what on earth does this mean? But next, all those little pieces turned into a sea creature, like a sea anemone. So all, kind of orangish yellow, and it was just kind of going like this down at the bottom of the sea, floating along with the tide, and it was beautiful. It was sort of aqua colored seas and lots of other fish and everything going around there. And I thought, well, was she a merman or a mermaid? And no, it just kept bringing me back to the sea anemone. So I spent some time with it, and it was like, yeah, you were a sea anemone. And I asked about what this meant and how it related, what you learned and how it related to this current incarnation. And it was about, there was a feeling of delicacy, and it showed that you were part of a community, not just the other sea anemones, but all the different, the shells and the mollusks and all the plants and the corals. There was this whole community, and the fish and everything. And you were part of it, and you were all kind of like, you had the sense of we're all in this together, because you're all in the water together. And it also was something about the flexibility that, whether it was stormy or calm, you could go with the flow. So I'm kind of wondering, Jess, okay. And she said, yes, I had one of those. You had a sea anemone? Or no, maybe that was the Play-Doh thing. The Play-Doh Fun Factory. But that's what I got for you, which was not what I expected at all. But I got the idea that those qualities of community, flexibility, being part of a larger whole and contributing to it, and then like filtering out things from the water that are good for you, and then getting rid of the rest because those will be useful to someone else. And it also cleans up the water and all of that. So it's like you had a sense of your place in the community and how much you contributed to it, and that you bring that and kind of this gracefulness too. And I think you bring all of those into the current life. But at least it's something to think about. Jenny, what did you get?
Well, I pulled a card from a deck that's about past lives, and it's so I got the mother, and then she's surrounded by children. So, are you a mother now? Can we get that? Um, I think that that's in your life path this time around to be a mother, and then you're also um, your family is really important to you, and then it has been in previous lifetimes. So that's what I got.
That sounds good. Yes, she's a mom and has two girls.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So there's two kids sitting on this mother's lap. So I think that
Perfect.
that's that's your life path this time around, and plus this life you build on what you've been doing before. So that's an important part of your life, and has been before.
Yeah, she says nothing is more important than family.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Don't you love the cards?
Yeah. Thank you, Jess. I hope that was helpful and sort of fun.
Yeah.
And next up we have Wiki, who would love a
Wiki.
past life reading. Okay, let's see what we can find. I'm seeing you as a man, maybe like in the 1800s, and I think this is in England or Ireland, Scotland, somewhere in the British Isles. Yeah, I think you were a fisherman or worked on the docks or something like that, because I'm seeing you pulling a chain, those big, thick chains that moor the boats. Um, and originally, when I saw you, you were sitting in like a Windsor chair, those um, wooden chairs with spindles and a high back, and they're kind of delicate looking. But at your feet, there were two little kids playing, and you're at this hearth, and you're kind of exhausted. But this was a life that you were living and working really hard. You're, kind of dirty and got this hat on that looks pretty beat up, but it was all for the family, and especially for those two little kids. Um, when I see you out working, it looks really, you did it well and all of that, but it was um, it was worth it because the feeling out working was, yeah, okay, but seeing you back at the hearth, there's a fire in the background and something cooking over the stove with the big cast iron pot in the fire. The feeling of home. It wasn't like joyousness or anything like that. It was this feeling of, this is where I belong. This is what's important in life. This is why I do the work that I do. And there's also this feeling of tension about, will I make enough to feed the family and keep it all together? For some reason, I'm not seeing your partner here. Uh, but I get the idea there is one. I think she's off. Maybe you were trading shifts or something, and she's off doing some other sort of work. Because now I'm seeing a woman who's like gleaning the fields or picking things from a garden or something, and she's working too. Um, so it was kind of a shared effort, which seems a little odd for the time. You kind of think that the men don't pitch in, but this as a dad, you were a great dad and you really loved your kids and you worked hard. let's see. I do love the water still, she says. Home and hearth provider. Wonderful. You did a good job. How about you, Jenny?
So the first word that came to my mind was creator. And then I asked more about that, and I get that you were an ET and you were part of the group that helped create humanity on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah, and like this was before Lemuria, before this was in the very beginning. You were a part of that. That's what I think. That's what I feel. So yeah, well done.
Excellent. Yeah. Wow. That's what I think too.
And so that means that you've been here many, 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 many times, and you're very wise and loving. And it's important that you're here right now, because right now we're supposed to be taking in light codes and anchoring them into the earth. So maybe you're one of those people that's going to do that too.
Cool.
Very important.
We're all here for a reason. Okay, hide that one. And here's for Juno. You read on my past lives if there's time. Let's see if I can go back further than your father, which is who I got last time I tried with you, Juno. Hi, Samantha. Thank you for coming. I'm seeing you as like a monk who was working on illuminated manuscripts or working on manuscripts. I'm not sure if they were illuminated or whatever, but now I'm kind of seeing that the big golden letter and then all the curly Q stuff around it. But then I also, and for some reason I'm seeing clothing that reminds me of Italy, like Renaissance Italy. When the guys had those kind of poofy things that they were wearing in their on their pants, and then sort of like stockings or something underneath that, and it was striped. Very anyhow, that doesn't make sense if you were working on the manuscript. Anyhow, and then I saw someone coming in and arresting you. And he's putting the equivalent of handcuffs on you behind your back and kind of marching you off. So, Spirit, what happened here? I don't know if this was Reformation times or during that kind of the battle between the two papacies, the one in Rome and the one in Avignon. But there was deep, there were rifts and kind of people turning against each other within the religious sects. And it feels more like the time of the two popes and the two had at the time of the two popes, or when they were battling against where the true pope was. So I guess you were part of that. And you just wanted to go back to your kind of little cell and look out the castle window and make these beautiful, beautiful designs and script. You were kind of the artist then too, but the politics of the time got caught up. So, Spirit, let's go fast forward. How did this end for Juno? Yeah, you weren't able to go back to that, and it really like took a piece of your heart out. Um, you were a devoted to God and devoted to the Christianity, but what you really loved was making that type of artwork. It puts you in an altered state, and you really felt like you were channeling spirit when you were doing this. And you kind of withered after that, and well, they threw you in some sort of prison. But yeah, you kind of got through those times by just imagining and remembering what it was like to be in that elevated state and being able to create artistic things while in touch with spirit. It was pretty cool. What do you get, Jenny?
Well, I get like three different things. Once you started talking about the castle, I was getting the castle for sure. And there wasn't a lot of food, and it was damp, and I felt like you got sick there. So you may have died of being ill, like consumption or something. Um, so that's not a very happy lifetime. But yeah, I can kind of see the castle and you in that room. But I also got Egypt, which I think I usually get with you. And then also, you've always been so wise in every lifetime. And I also got the Native American, that you were a healer and a leader. And so I'm not sure any of these lifetimes ended very well. But you're here.
That sounds great. Let's see. Juno said, it sounds very much like Juno and her crochet and other art endeavors. Yeah, I think that's all coming through spirit for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just got like working with medicinal plants, and creating tinctures and things like that. So that's still creative.
yeah. And Juno's a healer in this lifetime too. And so it
Mhm.
sounds like she carried that through. Interesting. Let's see. I also wanted to just say hello to Tiffany, and I've got your question starred, and Natalie, Lady Silver. Thank you for coming. I've got your request starred, and Samantha. Thanks everybody for coming. This is kind of a fun way to explore. Next up is Ellen R. Could I have a reading on past life? Whatever one comes forward for me is fine. Excellent.
Don't forget to do the thumbs up for Joan.
Oh, that's right. I always forget to ask if people could hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that.
Well, I get animals right away. You're close to animals. I think you took care of like a shepherd, like back in Jesus' days. You were the caretaker of all the animals in the barn. Mm. You were happy, really happy. Life was good. You had enough to eat, and you had warmth. Yeah, that's a good life.
That sounds good. What I got wasn't quite as much fun. I think you were in the Dust Bowl days in Oklahoma or somewhere in the American Midwest or Southwest, and the wind is blowing there, and it's sand, 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 and it's in your eyes, and it's in your nose, and in your teeth. I can just feel the grittiness of it, and it's everywhere, and you just can't escape it. And the wind is blowing so hard, and and okay, let's go ahead. See, did they try to get away? I think you and your family tried to get away, to leave, and I'm seeing sort of an old truck or car, but it got full of sand and just broke down by the side of the road. I don't know if that was the end of it for you or if you tried again later. Okay, what is it about this life that is something that Ellen draws upon now? Strength in adversity. It's like that was really bad, but somehow you held it together. And I don't feel like that there was this, oh, happy ending. We made it to California and went swimming in the ocean. I get the idea you did get somewhere and survived, but it was not an easy life. You had a family, and that was where your main attention was, trying to especially keep the kids together and fed as much as possible. But yeah.
So in both lives, you were a caregiver.
Yep.
So you must be a caregiver now too.
Ellen says she likes animals and has always had pets. Strength and adversity, needed that in parts of this current life. Boy, that's true for so many of us.
Yep. I think we all had our little dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
That brought us to, I shouldn't say little dark night of the soul. That's an oxymoron. But yeah.
All right. So let's see. We have, next up is Samantha. Then we have Lady Silver and Tiffany and Natalie. And then if we don't have any others, Juno, we'll go back and ask about the ancient Greek or Roman times that you had asked about. All right, here's Samantha. Ooh, I'm seeing you as this warrior. The first thing I saw was an arrow going through the air. And I thought, oh, is this the American Southwest? But no, it's somewhere else, more ancient. Well, it's ancient. And you're like riding a horse. You've got your man. You've got some sort of turban on. I'm wondering if this is like in kind of Eastern Europe or Russia, what's now, or the former Soviet Union, kind of off to the east there, or I'm not coming up with the right name. One of the stands, maybe, I'm not sure. But there's mountains. You're on this horse, riding like a wild man, and shooting these arrows. You're a big guy, which oftentimes is a little unusual because it was hard to find enough to eat. So, okay, was this man more of a hunter or was this a warrior? This man was both, I'm hearing, that you were, again, protecting the family and protecting your kind of hunting grounds. And if there were others that got in conflict with you or compromised that, you had no hesitation about just going after them with everything. Spirit, show me, are there others? Is this man a leader of this? Yeah. You were the one, and now I'm seeing it's more like in Asia, maybe Mongolia or China or Tibet, something like that, a little bit more Eastern. And you have people behind you. You were like the warrior general or something like that, or a leader, if not a general. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. I kind of feel like I'm mixing up two lives. That there was one where you were kind of alone and it was more of the hunter-gatherer type, and then the other one more in community where you were a warrior leader.
So when you were describing that, the word Kazakhstan came to me. So then I looked
Okay.
it up, like where is it? It's beside China to the east. It's bordered by Russia and the Caspian Sea and Uzbekistan. So I think you were right on, girl. And
Okay.
I pulled a card, and it's food and hunger. So you were the one that went out and got the food for everybody. I mean, and that's so you were a provider and you were strong, and that's a great life.
Yeah. Really strong. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mess with you.
And now you're back
Yes.
to be
And
strong.
it's easier to get food, but I bet you're bringing some of that strength with you.
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
really interesting. I got Kazakhstan in my, and
Yeah.
then you were describing it, and I was like, well, I wasn't sure, so I had to look.
Cool. I love when that
Yeah.
happens. And welcome to Melody of Anna Lee and Melinda Crocker. We have your question starred. So thank you, Samantha. I hope that was, I don't know, something to think about and turn over in your mind.
Well, that's a great life.
Yeah, made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Lady Silver, who wants to know, was she in World War I or II?
Oh, wow.
I'm just going to use the pendulum for this one. Spirit through the pendulum said World War II, and I'll tune in and see if I can get a little more detail. What I'm getting is you were on the wrong side. You were fighting with the Germans, whether you were a German soldier or someone else who was fighting along with them. But then the only other sign I saw was a cog, like you were a cog in the wheel. You were part of them. You just got caught up in it. And felt helpless.
A lot of people got caught up in it, and they were brainwashed, like some people are brainwashed now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they get it.
They didn't really understand, and so I don't want to say that.
Yeah, I got that you were not an inherently bad person. You got caught up in it. This is what you were taught, and you were.
And yeah, brainwashed so many people. Like even in Italy, like Mussolini brainwashed young people, and the young people of Austria were brainwashed by the Germans too. And of course, they took on the German. Whatever.
Cause.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I've talked to somebody's grandmother who remembers it when she was a little girl, and she still to this day doesn't think that they did anything wrong.
Wow.
And they didn't know. Of course, they didn't know about the atrocities. They didn't know. But still, yeah, I was really shocked to hear that.
Oh.
So it wasn't your fault that you were gathered along in the sweep of emotion.
Yeah, we've all been all things and it's all about learning what that was like.
Interesting.
What did you get for Lady Silver?
So I'm seeing like a family. So you had a family. You were a family person. I think you were a man. You were the provider. And a lot of times you come back to the same place, the same area, in several lifetimes. And so I'm kind of seeing you in Austria, and happy. Uh, there's plenty of food, plenty of pigs to eat. And I think you had something to do with farming. I kind of see you like taking the food to the market to sell it. So that was a good one. Yeah. And you had children. So yeah, you lived on a farm and it was beautiful. And so you had a house and fences, and you also grew flowers. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you were a man or a woman, actually. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I get you going out and cutting the flowers, taking them inside. So I don't know. It might be a woman. But that was a happy life. And you were prosperous, like not rich, but prosperous for the time. And happy with your family. And then you had animals. You had like cows and pigs and children.
What more could you want? And Lady Silver says, I feel like I made a quick return back here. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, this makes so much sense. Thank you for the confirmation. I'm glad that helped kind of put things in perspective, maybe.
I think a lot of people from the Civil War times and a lot of people from World War II are back. And the light workers are here to bring the light in, obviously,
Yeah.
to combat.
At these
So,
pivotal times.
so we hope we're choosing a better path.
Yes. Okay, let's see what we can find for Tiffany.
Hmm.
I'm getting so many men rather than women this time.
I was getting ready to say, I get that you were a man.
You go ahead.
No, you go. That's all I got right now. That she was a man.
I'm thinking this may have been Roman times, but I'm seeing you in some sort of metal armor, but not like a full suit of armor, just like a breastplate and something. But I'm looking up at you from below, and you have a metal helmet on and this breastplate type of thing that looks not like the suits of armor of in the times of knights and all of that, but maybe more of Roman times. And I'm looking from the bottom up at you, and you are tall and dark haired and kind of all dirty, like you've just been in battle, and walking slowly and kind of dragging your sword. Like you're walking off the battlefield. Show me what happened to this man. He's just exhausted. It's like that's all we do is fight, and it's one thing after another. I guess that's how they got the Holy Roman Empire going. They just kept taking over other areas. And you're like very strong, and you know that you're good at this, but it's kind of mind numbing and body numbing. It's just seeing what you see in war like that. Well, as people have experienced throughout the ages and are continuing to today. But I get the feeling that, yeah, you're kind of like a machine going through the motions, because that's what your lot in life is to be part of the Roman war machine. But mentally, and you've kind of had to you had to kind of go on remote control and turn your heart and your sensibilities away from it. It's like you feel like you're a tool for these other people. And yeah, we won this one, but it's all about survival of the fittest. It's just, yeah. And yeah, and you died by the sword in this one.
That one struck fear in me. Like I was, when you were describing the person, I became fearful.
Yeah. But he was kind of dead inside for good reason. If that's what you did every day for years and years, it's really, yeah, it makes me feel tight inside. I think they got you right through the middle because I feel that's where I'm feeling pain right now. Oh.
So I have a better one.
Oh,
I got China, in really, really early China. And I don't know that much about China, but I think that you were of service. I don't know if they had monks or what they were called, but that's what you were. So you were of service in that lifetime. But they did have their, so can I get it from that? So this was back when they had what do you call them? They weren't kings, emperors. So you had an emperor, but you were still allowed to be in something like a monastery, and you helped feed people. You had chickens, and I do think that soldiers would come and ask for food, and you would try to make friends with them and help them emotionally. So yeah, one life balances the other, I guess.
yeah, because the other one felt so emotionally shut down. And Tiffany said, confirmation. I feel I was always a man in my past lives. And she said she's always had those soldier dreams.
Yeah.
And wow, very interesting.
Yeah, and you can dream about a past life, and when you do, you think, was that a past life? I mean, it's not that you know for sure, but you think so. So when you have those dreams, like, try to write them down. And the only reason to look back at a life like that is to help you in this life, to bring forward those good attributes that you had, and it helps you in this lifetime. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. All right, we have Natalie. I don't think, did we do Natalie before? I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay.
I've seen Natalie before though, but people always comment about the picture.
Oh, that's right. We have Natalie, Melinda Crocker, and Melody of Annalee. And about 15 minutes left or so. So I think we're going to be able to do everybody here. So Natalie, let's see what we can find for you.
Well, look at it. Look at you with a bag on your head. It makes me think of the person that killed what's her name? The Queen of France.
Marie Antoinette?
Yeah. You look like that person. That's a joke.
Who knows?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm a little slow on this one.
So first I got Ireland, and then I got farmer, and I could see all the green land. So you were a landowner, but so did you farm the land? If you were a landowner, definitely Ireland. I still think you were like a landowner, but you were like a dairy person. You owned a dairy farm, and you made butter and milk, and took it to town and sold it. And you were happy, and you had a family. And you loved the land. You literally loved the land. So that's what I got.
I'm seeing you in, they're showing me, it's a time when men dressed up like in the tall black silk hats, like kind of like the Abraham Lincoln hats, that he's the stovepipe hat. And they showed me you dressed up like that, but then to kind of give a period in time. But then when I asked about, well, what did you do then? I saw you as a man, and you were just on this beautiful, I don't know if it's a lake or a river or what, but a shoreline, just fishing. And it looked sort of like those, verdant green, all the woods, like those Hudson River Valley School paintings. Just beautiful, beautiful life all around you. And I got the idea that you lived a pretty simple life during these times. And you had a family. I saw the wife back at home working like a slave, doing the laundry while you're off fishing. And I said, well, was Natalie the woman or the man? And they said, the man. And I think it was just one of those tranquil, quiet lives of, you weren't horribly poor. You had, you farmed as part of in this whole community, raising wheat or something. And then there's the mills, to grind it into flour and all of that. But plenty of time to just kind of sit on the banks of this body of water and fish and just kind of contemplate life. While the wife's home scrubbing the floors and doing all the work. But that's just fine. That's what people's roles were back then, it seems. So it wasn't like an extraordinary life, but it was sort of like a gathering, like your soul maybe had more difficult lives before and after. And this one was quiet. You had lots of time to think. You were kind of an amateur philosopher, I think. You had the family. I'm not seeing the kids. Yeah, there's kids around, but definitely the wife. And there was the sense of community of other people farming. So you would like help each other out in the harvest and all of that stuff. But it was sort of this self-contained community, and it gave you the freedom to have the time while you're doing this kind of work to just kind of think. What does Natalie say?
She has a yearning for that now.
A yearning for that now. Oh, great.
That makes sense.
Wonderful. And she said, pay back this life. Always working away. Yeah. Well, maybe you were gearing up for this life when it's just endless toil. So I hope you can just go to the riverbank and fish.
Well, yeah, you can do that in your mind. Go to the riverbank in your mind. You can always do that. It's possible.
And look up, just
because they say that time is like, it's not a flat line the way we think it is. It's circular or something. So you can actually, in your mind, jump to that lifetime for a bit.
Cool. Oh, stay-at-home mom. That's what Natalie was saying. Yes. So that means always working, always on.
Wow.
No time to sit on the riverbank and think.
Oh, wow. So I bet you, so you're probably surrounded by your soul family and then you just switch places, you know.
Yeah, because that's what it seemed like the wife back home while the guys out there are fishing. She was
Yeah.
just working and slaving away.
So you just switch places
Yeah.
this lifetime. Well, let me see what that's like.
Okay. Yes. What did you get for her?
I don't know. I was listening to you.
I'm sorry, I was talking too much. What else is new?
Didn't I say something before? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Okay, let me see. Oh, I got angels. So I pulled a card and I got angels. So maybe she's an incarnate angel. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
So this is a past life deck.
Wow.
So yeah, you could be an incarnate angel.
That's pretty cool. Agreed. That's awesome. Wonderful. That was really fun. Thank you.
Everybody loves that picture of you, Natalie. Like, that is the funniest picture.
Okay, here's Melinda Crocker. Hello from Texas. I would love a Pastor Rife reading.
So I get that you were a mother in Egypt back in, the times of Jesus. And I was seeing you going down to the river and you're carrying a basket of clothes and then you're washing the clothes in the river. So you're definitely a mother and a wife, and you're pretty happy, pretty content. There's no strife in your life, and you stay close to your family. I can kind of see where you live, and it's a home. I don't think they had concrete. It must have been like mud, kind of something like that. And you have on long clothes, and now you're in that home, like cooking by the fire and cooking food for your family. And yeah, you didn't know any different. That was a content, happy life. That's it.
Beautiful.
Your turn.
And Natalie got chills from that. We're with Linda now. Sorry. When I tuned in, we're down in South America, kind of in the Amazon, I think. I don't know why I think that, but I've just seen like the rainforest, and I don't know if they have this, but this is what I saw. You're with a group of indigenous people walking these paths through the rainforest, and then there was this big river gorge and a what do you call it? Like a rope bridge, a suspended bridge, and like the whole tribe or community is going across it, and it's like swinging and swaying. It's like, woo!
Are you scared of heights in this lifetime?
Yeah. And at first I had the idea that you were running away, that there was some conflict or another community of people that were after you. But then no, everybody was walking just like, no, this is just what we do. So maybe at different seasons you went to different places, but it was like the whole community was there. You were a woman, and you had one baby on your shoulder, and then there was another one of yours that someone else was carrying. But there's a lot to carry. And so I don't know if this is like going to a different settlement for a season, but then, or maybe it's to like a place of worship, because now I'm seeing like a drone view from above that there was this structure of some sort, and that people would come to that as I don't know, like a harvest festival place after the harvest, or I don't know what, but it was part of everything was in tune with the seasons, and going to this place was something that you did every year at this time. And it was just an important, but it was like for many of us celebrating the holidays in December or something like that. But yeah, the main reason, or the main feeling I got from that was everybody, we were doing this amazing stuff, but it was like, yeah, this is just what we do, and being part of the community. And it's like, this is the season we go here. This is the season you were like really integrated into the community. And oh no, I'm scared of heights. Maybe that's why that thing was swinging. Anyhow, I hope that. Well, maybe. Would you like people to contact you to heal some of these types of past life things?
I was going to suggest that you do it, but I can do it too. But
Yeah.
so they can email me. Should I give my email address or not?
Sure.
So it's JennieCulkin@gmail.com. And I live in the Eastern time zone, and I only do readings in the late afternoon. Any day of the week.
That's
and
great.
It's free because it's practice. The first one's free. And then after that, there has to be an exchange of energy, trade or something. But, you don't really need that many, but it's really good. So, you can heal things. So that thing about being afraid of heights, you can actually heal that by going into your records and asking the Akashic Masters to heal it. And they do. There's a healing. So, yeah, maybe you'll jump a timeline.
Cool. Okay, we have just one more.
What about you? You should give your information, because.
Well, I want to practice in class a little bit more before I open this up. But it's just as far as regular readings. My link is in the show notes, and I do readings, psychic mediumship readings by donation. So you don't have to pay anything up front, and you can give whatever you want to afterwards. But yeah, and that will take you to my booking page. So Melody of Anna Lee.
This should be the last one.
Yes, this is the last one. Would like to know the past life of when I was with Luna, my now deceased cat. Okay.
I like that. Well, I immediately got trains. You were working on the trains. And your kitty cat was there with you. I think the cat just hung around the trains. And then you befriended the cat. Maybe you took it home. But that's where you met that cat. Hanging around the rail yard. So when would that be? I think that's in the United States. And I think it's, well, how can I time that? So it must be in the 30s or 40s. Or maybe the 50s, actually. Now I'm getting the 50s. Yeah, you worked on the train. So you worked in the rail yard. So you might have been like a, what do they call that when people work on the trains?
Conductor?
No. I mean, actually with tools.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean, in the rail yard. So when trains come in for service, they go into a rail yard.
Mm-hmm.
And so she worked on the trains in the rail yard, and the cat was in the rail yard, and that's how you met. And you felt sorry for the cat because but he was so sweet. So that's when you first met that cat.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got that the cat was a tiger and was in the jungle somewhere and was captured and somehow ended up in a sort of like a traveling circus. And I'm thinking that this was in what's now Russia somewhere. And you were someone, the tiger trainer wasn't all that nice to the tiger, but you were someone who helped, feed the tiger, and you had compassion for it. And that's where you developed your bond. Like you were someone who wasn't like a performer for the circus, but maybe you were a kid who ran off and joined the circus, and this was, one of the things that was your job, but somehow you and that tiger formed a bond because you both pretty much didn't have anybody else that cared about them, and you were both, you were okay, you had food to eat and all of that, but it was not the greatest of situations for either of you. So you kind of bonded, and you looked after the cat or the tiger, but it gave you the love and attention that you needed too. So I can see how that happened. Oh, wow.
Yeah, your cats can come back, with you in other lives too. So they do reincarnate, and they usually stick with their soul family. So
I like that it was a tiger. Well, Jennie, thank you so much for doing this, and thank you everybody who came.
welcome.
I just really love doing this, and I
That's
hope
fun.
that we can do it again sometime. And yes, please get in touch with Jennie if you want a past life reading, and with me if you want a reading of kind of a psychic or mediumship reading. I'll do what I can for past lives. But yeah, thanks for coming, and we will see you soon. Oh, Jennie, tell us where you're going to be appearing.
I'm going to be on Allie's show on Sunday with Allie and Valerie from Dragonfly Crystals.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So I'm looking forward to that. And so she's our teacher in the Akashic Records class, and I think she's got another one coming too.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be on with Jean, Sun Psychic Jean, on Monday. Terry Suzuki won't be able to join us, but at our usual time of, I guess it's 4:30 Eastern, 3:30, 2:30, or 2:30, 1:30, something like that. Anyhow,
Magic Monday.
I know it's 3:30 Central. That's not my strength. But anyhow, Jennie, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody who came. Mwah.
Bye, everyone. Bye.